I'm locked into my client and just figuring out what they need and just feeding off the energy, and then they're giving me energy. And okay, so I think what happens is this. I think the reason why you can be in flow is because you're giving out energy.
Yeah.
But also your client is giving you back energy.
Oh, so much. I mean,
they're getting back energy through they're trying.
Yeah.
There's maybe it's even gratitude, or even if it is frustration, you don't feel this lack of ungratefulness for you.
Yeah.
Right? You know that it's frustrating because it's hard. What they're doing is hard. But when people are giving back that energy and you're giving energy, flow can happen.
This is Secrets for Success.
Welcome to the Secrets for Success podcast. I'm your host, Greg Todd. Thank you, as always, for joining me. Today, I have a special guest on. She reminds me very much of a family member of mine. Okay, well, maybe we'll talk about that. Maybe we won't. Anyways, Akemi Mercedes, thank you so much for being on the podcast. Appreciate having you on. Have you ever listened to my podcast before?
Yeah.
You have. So you're on it now. All right. Are you going to listen to your episode? Okay. So let's chat, because I told you off off camera that I feel like you are, like how everybody has an avatar, like you have a customer. I feel like you are the new avatar for SSHC. Yeah. So anyways, can you share with the people a little bit about your story, if you're a physical therapist, blah, 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 and all that other stuff, and then we'll take it to when you decided you needed to make a change.
So I graduated in 2009. First job out of school was home health, but under Med B. So it was really nice, having the flexibility to go beyond Med A guidelines. So we could set community level goals. Burnt out within a year. But I just kept going because I do love the heart of, or the core of, our job. But I just thought, it was my first job out of school, so I thought, okay, I just have the wrong employer. So that was in New York. We moved to California. And
when did you move to California? When?
2011. Yeah, got married. And then we did some sniffs and got burnt out again. And that was for a couple years that we moved back to the East Coast, and actually went back to the same home health job. And got burnt out again.
Sure. Wow. So, I'm teasing, but yeah. Okay, but hold on. There's this here, and I want you to finish, but there's this common theme here. So you're on the East Coast, home health, burnout. You go to the West Coast, go to a different setting, burnout. Go back to the East Coast. We'll figure out the whole thing of going back to the same job, or maybe you just knew what you were going to get. I don't know. Is that it?
Yeah. Well, it was the productivity expectations. If I didn't have to, I think if the productivity expectations weren't as high, maybe we would have stayed longer.
Did they change from the first time when you were out there? It was about the same?
No,
okay.
Same.
It just felt harder?
I was just so drained every single day.
Yeah.
The one thing that has never changed is when I'm in a session with a patient, I don't know. It's the closest thing I think I've ever experienced to a flow state where everything else in the world just melts away, no matter what's going on at home or in the world. I can fully just commit to what's in front of me. And I can like somehow the energy like comes out, and then like I step out of the apartment or home or whatnot, and it's just I feel like I'm melting.
Wow. Wow. So wait, this is important. So when you're with a client, you're at their home, because the majority of what you're doing, I mean, of the jobs that you've had is you've only had like one stint that you have had a sniff.
Yeah.
Everything else has been home health. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So you started in 2008. Wait.
I had a little bit of like per diem hospital.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you were 2008, right?
2009.
Sorry, 2009. So we're 2024. It's 15 years, right? So for 15 years, you still feel that? Do you still feel like when you're in someone's home, or you still feel that flow,
Yeah.
that amazing feeling, but then it's just afterwards?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. I wonder how many people feel that.
I mean, I know Carlos feels it too, but like, I mean, so much of I don't know. Like, I think, how can you have another human being in front of you where your role is to support them, to guide them, to help heal them, whether physically, mentally, emotionally? How can you not put your whole heart into the human being across from you?
Great. Well, I could tell you something. Can I tell you something? Not everybody feels that way, but you do. And I believe I do as well. The problem is when you feel like you're giving your all and you feel like it's not being given back to you through whether it's appreciation. By the way, I'm not saying appreciation with the patient. I'm not saying,
Right. Yeah.
okay,
No,
because you're,
it's our
okay, okay, wait. I think I got something here. So I think what's happening, in order for you to be in a flow state, because I have actually felt a flow state this weekend, okay? But so for those of you that are listening, Akemi's in my Platinum Mastermind program, and I've been working with a few of them at my house this weekend, and we've been working on different parts of our businesses and whatnot. And so as we were working together yesterday, which was our first day together, there were times that I just felt in a total flow state, right? Like I wasn't like, oh, I'm in a flow state. It just, everything felt easy. You probably saw it on my face, right? Like I'm just like really, really happy. And you were with me at my Georgia home one time too, right? And you kind of can see where he's just in his zone, right? He's just I'm in his zone. Like nothing matters. I'm not looking at the clock. I don't care. I'm just saying what I need to say. I'm locked into my client and just figuring out what they need and just feeding off the energy, and then they're giving me energy. And okay, so I think what happens is this. I think the reason why you can be in flow is because you're giving out energy.
Yeah.
But also your client is giving you back energy.
Oh, so much. I mean,
they're giving back energy through they're trying.
Yeah.
It's even gratitude, or even if it is frustration, you don't feel this lack of ungratefulness for you.
Yeah.
Right? You know that it's frustrating because it's hard. What they're doing is hard. But when people are giving back that energy and you're giving energy, flow can happen.
Yeah. Just that appreciation, and like, it is the appreciation. And no matter how hard, I mean, I think for at least, I think for most therapists, like the biggest reward is like feeling that appreciation.
Right.
Like what you have, what they value, what you have to offer. And it's, yeah.
I truly believe that's how flow happens.
Yeah.
Right? Like when you're an artist, because we are artists.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you're an artist and you are participating in your craft, and you are getting energy back from the crowd. By the way, the crowd could be a crowd of people at an arena. Yeah. The crowd could be a patient that's in front of you, and they're giving you back something. And something could be effort. That could be gratitude, that can be gratefulness, that can be a actual milestone, progress. I believe we can achieve flow. But now let's talk about when you leave, you close that door, you're now out, and you just said this, you said, quote, my body feels like it's melting away.
Yeah. So I have struggled with anxiety and depression like my entire life. And I've always been like really low energy. And, so like I step out and I could be in my car and then, maybe I have a little extra time before my next client and I'm trying to rush and finish some documentation at least. And like I cannot keep my eyes open. It's like I've completely drained myself into that patient and it's or whatever else is on my mind or anything like that. So
Yeah. See, I think this is just all too common. I think for those of you that are listening, it's the first time in a while I've asked you all to respond back. If you are listening to this episode, whether you want to text us at 813-534-6453 or you want to DM me on Instagram at Greg Todd PT, I would love to know if you feel this way as well. So it's almost like you're being with the patient is like the party, and then you leave and you go back to your car if you're in home health and you start doing notes and you're actually dealing with the hangover.
yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like the worst hangover, right? You feel maybe it's low, you feel depressed, you feel, oh my gosh, I have to do this. And it's all the other red tape and like crap that comes with healthcare. And sometimes as good as the party can be, the hangover makes it so bad that you never want to party again.
Yeah,
Am I right?
for sure. Yeah.
So you've dealt with this since 2009, and I'm assuming this has kind of been the case, whether it's home health or
Yeah.
it's the sniff or the little stint that you had at the hospital.
Yeah.
When did you feel like it was time to try something different? What happened?
So we got pregnant with our first son, and he was born in 2016. I was extremely blessed enough to be able to stay home with him, and just kind of go back just to a occasional weekend per diem job for a little bit. Um, and I was, yeah, mostly being able to stay at home with him, and like go to a co-op preschool and, volunteer a lot. And then our second son was born in 2019. And the month that he turned 1 was when everything shut down.
Oh.
And so I was at home with them full time by myself, like so many other mothers. And I maybe lasted 6 to 8 weeks. And then I told my husband, Carlos, like, I have to go back to work now. I'm going insane. But, and so we were, again, extremely blessed to find, a nanny, like a part-time nanny. So I was doing still per diem, but like I could take on a little more hours.
Yeah.
And I hadn't worked in a long time, but I almost was like, when I was, as I got back, I was like, I was feeling a high, like that I didn't realize I was missing so much. And because I was, per diem and could pick and choose, like, as soon as I saw an eval come up, I'd say like, oh, Carlos, can I go work? Like evaluation and start, and follow him. Um, and then it got to the point where I was working like enough where and consistently and feeling okay where I took on the full time again. But it didn't take long to burn out again.
You started to feel that again.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
So feeling great while I'm at the party, leave the house,
Yeah.
go to the car,
Yeah.
the hangover starts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's my question to you. My question to every single one of you that is listening. What do you think's going on?
I mean, our system is garbage.
Yeah.
It's not sustainable for any human being.
Right.
To provide quality care under the restrictions that we're forced to work under.
Great. And I feel like the care that you're wanting to give, you're doing it within the confines that they're giving you, but it doesn't allow you to do the other things that they're requiring of you during that time. And you wouldn't feel good if you cut off the care that you need to give them in order to do the things that don't even give you joy anyways. So it just creates burnout by default. That's really what's happening.
Yeah.
Okay, so that happened. You're now at that point. So now what? Now, when, I don't know if it's me, if I was, or something happened where it's like, wait a minute, maybe I should look into this.
I mean, I was honestly, whether Googling for a new job or Googling for any alternatives, like what else can a PT do?
Right.
So the algorithm, of course, started reading me and started throwing out all of these other like health business coaches and things like that. And I mean, there were several others that kept popping up, but I don't know, like yours kept popping up, and then it was the 5-day challenge last year.
I see. Yeah.
And then, yeah, I mean, it was free. Like, what do I have to lose?
Right.
So, but when it comes to like being thrown all of these people selling, whatever they need or want to sell. I mean, my skepticism was, yeah.
High alert.
Yeah, oh, for sure, yeah. But again, I was like, okay, 5-day challenge, like I'll just do it. And my schedule is flexible enough so that I could. I didn't tell Carlos because I didn't know, we'll just do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, after day one, and it was just a ton of value, and then you spun the wheel, and I won $100.
You did? Oh, wow. Okay. All right, this is fun. I make money learning some stuff. Okay. All right, great. That's how it happened. Okay. Well, it's good to know. That's fun.
Yeah, and then just one thing led to another, and I, bought into your next offer, and finally it came to the SSHC Live event. I had already told Carlos about you, but it was just like, I wasn't trying to like, you have to listen to this. Like, oh, I'm just following this guy. I think it might be, just give me some inspiration and figure out if there's anything else I can do. And but yeah, once the live event, I was like, I'm taking you with me some way.
Oh, wow. Was that when I did the offer for Blue Ridge? Was that it? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, leading up to the event, he was like, are you taking me to some cult or something? You like, and because he did start listening to some of this stuff. Yeah, like, all right, look, yeah. And it was, I mean, first we did start because Pius and I had connected through the challenges and stuff, and so and with Rhoda too. So I was like, oh, I at least want you to meet. Like, I met these really other cool like health clinicians. So it was nice making those connections, and then it wasn't but in the first day he was like, okay, yeah, but it wasn't until the second day when he heard Katie Blanchard,
Katie Blanchard, yeah.
and whatever word choice she chose, whatever energy she was giving off, she told him.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, that was the best speaker.
Yeah.
Uh,
Isn't it amazing how because everybody's got a different journey
yeah.
and everybody is taking a different path. And I'm not here to tell you all, like, you got to do this path or you got to, like, that's really not me.
Yeah.
I have a framework that I believe makes the most sense, but the way that life has lifed me, and I feel like my unique thing in the marketplace is not just like I am who I am, I'm just different because I've gone through different things and, whatever. But I think it's not, I realize that there's not one way to do it. Look at how Katie does it.
Yeah.
Which is different than how the other Katie does it, which is different than how Jen does it, which is different than how Kelly does it, which is different than how, this one does. Like, they all do it differently. But it's just knowing that you could do it. You don't have to deal with that crap. You don't have to deal with the hangover every day for the rest of your life. You still got to work. You still got to do things different. But why? Like, that's it. So it's so interesting that for Carlos, that was that was it.
Yeah, he found her, well, like, I guess her story just the most relatable, or else like her energy or whatever it was. So yeah, and then I never thought it, like, I knew whatever offer you were going to present, no matter what, he would say no.
Yeah.
But he just kind of blew my mind when he said yeah. So,
Wow.
and he is like, I mean, both of us are not risk takers.
Yeah.
Especially financially, like financial security is like, especially with, 2 young kids, like that's everything to us. Like, we've paid off all like $300K in student loans in 7 years. We, we don't have a car note. We never have a credit card debt. We pay everything off on time. And so, yeah, something like this we would have never done. And I think I made the first leap because I didn't feel like there was any other choice. This was no way to live for me and my family. I mean, my patients were getting everything and my family was getting nothing. I like when me and Carlos come home, I mean, this is so shameful to say, but our boys were getting the worst of us. They were getting the leftovers. And then same with in our relationship, in our marriage, like we were getting, I mean, we joke all the time because as soon as each of us hear us on our phones with our patients, like setting up appointments or whatever, like we hang up, like, who is that? Like, I don't know that, Carlos. I don't know that, Akemi. Like, it is totally different person. So
I'll tell you, I knew this was going to be, powerful. So much of us feel that way. Like this is the reason why what I've done has, not what I've done, what God has done has, like, allowed people's lives to change so much. It's not that you want to be that way with your husband. It's not that your husband wants to be that way with you. It's just that you're working in a way where you're physically exhausting.
physically, mentally,
emotionally, spiritually.
Yeah.
You're exhausting your body because of the level of work that you're doing. You are doing level 1 work. And level 1 work has destroyed so many families in America.
Yeah.
Because of how this country is. And man, I'm just going to keep it 100 with you, and I'm going to keep it 100 with every single one of y'all listen to this. If you decide that you're not going to change, okay, living in America, then you have to be okay with it being the demise of your family.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally forgot to include one part. I think it was towards, so right before I found you and did your challenge, I ended up having to go on, like, I think it was like a 2-month medical leave. And I mean, I had, whenever I went through my burnout cycles, I was always able to somehow come back. And it got to the point where all of everything, like my anxiety, depression, whatever it was, like started to manifest in the most physical way I had never experienced before. Like it was, I don't know, it wasn't like a full blown panic attack, but maybe like a lower, less severe, like I would have anxiety attacks and like my mind would be racing. I would feel like I was frozen and like I would call Carlos and he'd have to talk me through it. And it wouldn't even be like in between patients or something. I was like, I remember one time we were just going to like a little social thing at our son's school. Um, and social anxiety is like another big thing of mine. And as we were walking up towards the school, like I grabbed his hand and I I was like, "I can't do this." He's like, I can't. We have to turn around." And so we just walked back to the car and like he talked me through it. But like I was getting really bad dizzy spells. I was feeling nauseous all the time. So exhausted. I as soon as I walked in my door, I could not keep my eyes open. I would just collapse. Um, I, I mean, my boys didn't have a mother for like months. I mean, Carlos was doing pickup, drop off, lunches, dinners, breakfasts. He was managing everything, and I was completely non-functional. And I remember having the most severe headaches. I thought my head would explode, and so I talked to my provider, and she was like, "Okay, I'm going to put you on leave today." I was like, "Oh no, no, no! I just have one more day this week. I am supposed to discharge this patient tomorrow. Like I have to." She's like, "Are you sure?" And I said, "Yes." And I like halfway through the session, I thought I was going to pass out, and I went to my car and I called her and I was like, "Okay, I need to take that leave starting today." Um, so yeah, that was right before the challenge. And so while I was on leave, that's why I just realized that's why I had a little more flexibility in being able to participate in your challenge.
See,
So
I don't know these things. Like I don't. I just have to have the faith that whoever signs up that needs to show up will be there. Now knowing this, I spend like tens of thousands of dollars. You see, well, you got 100 of it, fool. All right. Uh, if I knew all of this, I would have done a challenge just for you. I mean, it was worth it. But you see how like things have to happen.
yeah,
Like things have to happen. Things just right place, right time. You know. But I realized for me, I'm just sorry, I'm making this about me. Just for 10 hours, okay? Because like I've worked with you now for it's been like what 8 months or something like that? About 8 months. I didn't know this story. Okay, I didn't know all of this. Um, I have to hear this because I'm human and I still have my levels of doubt and is anybody gonna this da 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 da? Doesn't everybody know this stuff now? You know, and then you kind of hit a certain level of, I guess, success or whatever. You have other pulls in your life. Do you need a kid? But oh my gosh, like I'm here wondering what would have happened. Like what would have happened?
I have no idea.
I just wonder how many other people feel this.
So I do have to, I mean, sorry, this is kind of like unrelated, but like also around the same time I found you, there's this amazing, she used to be a nurse, but she started a nonprofit called don'tclockout.org. Uh, and she started it during COVID because, I mean, I think there's multiple meanings behind that
Hmm.
name, but she lost at least like one or two other colleagues to suicide because COVID was just literally killing us.
Yeah.
And so she started this nonprofit, and you know, a lot of I mean, it's amazing. I've seen her from like such a tiny following to like, I mean, she's exploding now because we all need it. Like we're so desperate for support that the system is refusing to give us. And you know, she talks a lot and educates people a lot on moral distress. I had never heard that term before.
Mm.
But she's just incredible, and like the community that she has started to form is just
What's the name of the community? What's the name of it?
don'tclockout.org.
Don'tclockout.org. Okay,
Yeah.
I have to check this out because
Yeah.
wow, that's amazing.
They offer like virtual support groups for, I mean, she's a nurse, so there is a lot of focus on nursing, but they do offer a general healthcare like support group every week.
This is not the healthcare
Yeah.
that we all sign up for.
Yeah.
This is not the healthcare that it was in. You know, it's so funny. I did an interview with Jeanette Harris, and she graduated in the 90s. This is not the healthcare of the 90s.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, you've heard me say it over and over again. I just want people to be aware of like why they feel what they feel. If like, even if you don't move forward in offers or this, if like, I know I'm some people's cup of tea and I'm not for others, but I do believe that that first day of the challenge, just giving you awareness that you're not crazy. You are using your physical body and you're doing it in a certain period of time, and the demands have gotten stronger and stronger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and your body can only handle so much.
Yeah.
And I was saying something, and I just want to make sure I complete this thought. If you are going to make the decision to continue to live in the United States of America with the way that the United States of America is right now, and you guys have done great for yourself if you think about it, right?
Yeah.
No debt. I mean, just think of so many other people and the financial turmoil they're in, okay? But if you're living in the United States of America and you're going to have to, like, you want to actually be present for your kids, and you want to have a relationship,
Yeah.
like an actual legit relationship with your spouse, you cannot continue to do the way that they want to do it in healthcare. Unless you win some lottery and you just want to treat a patient a week and you just want to get that high and you'll deal with the hangover, but the hangover is so little because you're not taking 10 shots, AKA 10 patients a day. You're doing one, and you should be okay with that.
Yeah.
Okay. So you must do it differently. You must. This has been this has been eye-opening. I think it's been eye-opening as in it's your story, but I think that your story is like so many other people's story. I want to thank you so much for your courage in sharing it. I feel like there's so much more we could talk about, so we're just going to do a part 2 to this thing, okay? All right. But this has been powerful, and you know, I really hope that those of you that are listening, you understand, you know, that there are better ways for you. Now, can I just say this before I finish? I'm not really too good in my feelings at times. Like sometimes I would. Okay, here. Let me just tell you. So in my clinics, okay, between 2000, I don't even know if I've ever shared this before, but between 2009 to 2014, I guess I was having anxiety attacks. Okay, I didn't like, you just explained it, and I think that's what I was having. Now, I haven't been diagnosed with it or whatnot, but I would have these times at the end of the day where, remember now, I own the clinics, right? So I sometimes would have, remember now, I'm not working in home health, I'm working outpatient. So I'd have sometimes 18, 20, 22 patients a day. Everybody would leave. And when everybody left and my front desk people would leave, and I have a big staff and whatnot, and I would be there at the front desk, and I'm like counting, making sure that the money is balanced and the amount of copays that said and the cash is like all that stuff. That's what you have to do as an owner. You know, I'm doing all this stuff. And at this point, I don't have, like, I have staff. I probably have like 7 or 8 at one clinic, like maybe 6 or 7 at another. So maybe I have staff of like 14, 15. At my highest, I had like nearly 30. But I remember that I started getting these times where my mind was racing. It felt like everything was like, it felt like you were talking, and this is all going on in my head.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to do notes. So like, let's just say I'm writing patient did da-da-da-da-da, tolerated this. It felt like I was screaming at myself at 600 miles per hour, a speed. And I would just try to like write through it. And I remember like on my, like I'd finish and I remember, okay, I was like, okay, I gotta stop now. I have to stop. And I'm walking out of the gym. I don't know why I'm saying this on the podcast, but I'm walking out the gym and it seems like I have crowds screaming at me.
Yeah.
Screaming. I go to my car, I was like, and I'm driving and I knew I was unsafe on the road, but I'm driving home and then it would just go away. Is that what that is? Is that the anxiety is? I'm like, was I having that?
I would think so. I mean, we all experience everything so differently. I mean, if I had to guess it, I would think so.
I think I'm so not in tune with depression and this and that or whatever. And I don't know if it's a cultural thing that like, I just don't want to, I'm not sure, but.
Oh, I'm sure, like, yeah, whether it's a cultural thing or whether it's a gender thing.
A gender thing, maybe. We're not allowed to say it because we're weak. I don't know, but I just know so many people are dealing with this.
Oh, yeah.
So many people are so jacked up from all this. Well, I'm glad you're in our world and I'm glad you're moving towards really doing something amazing, but not killing yourself in the process. And I hope that if everything you're doing, you're able to achieve your flow state eventually without the massive hangovers. That's my hope for you. All right. Thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
That was easy.